So I've been giving a lot of thought to this song and how it ties in with what I had thought about speaking about today. And, you know, there are no accidents. There are no accidents. Everything falls together exactly as it needs to. Everything falls together on purpose and with purpose. So the first question I have to ask today is, on what do you base your self-worth? What is it that you look to in your life to prove your value? Are you looking towards anything in your life to prove your value? I said I was going to ask one question, I've now asked four. On what do you base your self-worth? I think a lot of us take some stuff for granted in our lives. And one of the things I think we often do, I know that I've done this, and I would like to say that I have risen above this concept, and maybe I have, maybe I haven't, but I look to others to determine what their opinion of me is, what I assume their opinion of me is, to bolster my own feeling of self-worth. How many of you, you don't have to raise your hand, but just check in with yourself. How many of you have ever done that? Maybe I should ask it this way. Is there anyone in this room who has never done that? One of the biggest aspects of my particular ministry, and I talked about this when I was here last July, I talked about the tendency of thought. And the very concept that really, if you look at what Ernest Holmes writes in The Science of Mind, it is our tendency in thinking that creates our lives. Now, we can create one thing, but the flow of our lives is based on the tendency of our thinking. And so what we're always working to do, what I'm always trying to impart, is to get in touch with what is the tendency of your thought. What is the habitual thinking that you are involved in? Because it is your habitual thinking that is showing up. Are you an ugly duckling? Is that your habitual thinking? Because if that is your habitual thinking, I guarantee you the things are going to show up in your life that will prove that point to you. You will look in the mirror, and what will you see? You will see an ugly duckling. When you turn that thought around, when we turn our thoughts around, inevitably the circumstances change. That's the whole point of this teaching. And it all comes down to this idea. What is your relationship to the circumstances of your life? What is the relationship? I think, you know, we talk a lot, we say, change your thinking, change your life, which of course we've now backed it up to change your beliefs, change your life. And I'm backing it up even further to change your feelings, change your life. Because as you change the feelings, your feelings feed the belief system. Because at the core of every belief is a feeling about that belief and behind that belief. So it's time to start getting in touch with the feelings. But far too many of us are too concerned with trying to change that stuff out there. None of it will change until you go back. Not a thing will change until you go back and take it back and take it back. Have you ever prayed to be something you are not? Have you ever prayed to be something that you are not? Or I should put it this way, that you think you're not. Because the truth is, you are all of it. You are all of it. We are all of it. All of it is flowing through us. We have the capacity to tap into the infinite at all times, no matter what. And when we tap into that infinite nature of God, our lives cannot help but flow forth beautifully and harmoniously. And so frequently we pray. Watch, ready? Okay, catch this, Chris. We pray, we plead, please God, change this thing in my life. But we know better, right? As practitioners, and I will say all of us as practitioners of Science of Mind, whether you're a licensed practitioner or not, we all know better. That's not the way things change. It's not the way things change. Now, you can temporarily change things by getting into that pleading, please God, change this. But nothing will change until you change the tendency and habit of your thinking. A lot of us may approach life with this idea, I'm not good enough. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not rich enough. The list goes on, right? And I love what Jill said. Following the statement, I am, is far more powerful than following anything with I will be. Because one of the things that happens when you say I will be is you've now put your good into the future. And as long as you put your good into the future, it will always remain in the future. You will never achieve it. That's why we state and claim our affirmations right here in the present moment. Right here, right now, I am good enough. I am attractive. I am rich enough. The list goes on. Regardless of any circumstances that I see in my life, I am. I am. Now, I hold on to this a little bit. Now, one of the big ones that I hold on to a little bit, because it rears its ugly head in a particular community in which I am involved, and that is the gay community, the concept of I am not attractive enough. Because in the gay community, we are bombarded with imagery all the time about having the perfect six-pack and going to the gym, and the idea that we have to look a certain way makes me crazy. And then, so I go on this cruise, right? You've all heard about James's cruises, right? I went on the cruise without James this year because he wasn't there. And of course, all the marketing around the cruise is all these very hunky models standing there on the cruise ship. Oh, and you start to think, oh, I don't know if I'm really in shape enough, or I don't know if I really belong. And you get on the ship, and what I love about these particular cruises is it's everyone. It is every walk of life, and you really do begin to see the beauty in every single person you encounter. But I still suffer a little bit from this I am not enough concept. But more and more every single day, I combat it, and I remind myself of the truth that I am God, and as God, I am enough, and I am attractive, and I am all that I need to be right here and right now in this very moment. Because if the core of the surface has to be founded and grounded in the idea that there's only one thing going on, and that is God. That's the truth. So if you are living in some idea, somewhere in your life, if there's some idea in your life that you can relate to, it may be I'm not attractive enough. It may be I am not rich enough. It may be, the list goes on, you're living on a wing and a prayer, which is the title of my talk today, On a Wing and a Prayer. And it's one of those things that, it comes to me out of the blue. I'm like, well, let's see, the theme this month is Let It Fly, so I guess on a wing and a prayer. And then I looked it up, the source of that phrase, and it actually comes from World War II. 1942, the first recorded use of that phrase was actually from a film called The Flying Tigers, a John Wayne film. And it is John Wayne who says, talking about some plane that's coming back, and saying, yeah, it's flying along on one wing and a prayer. Basically saying that it's hobbling along. So to what degree are you hobbling along in your life? To what degree are you living on a wing and a prayer, hoping against hope that everything is going to show up? Today I'm here to tell you to stop it. Because there is no need to just get by. There is no need to just limp along. And the only way to shift it is not to shift the things out there. The way you shift it is to shift your conscious awareness. You notice I don't say shift your consciousness. Consciousness is infinite. You actually can't shift consciousness. What you can shift is your conscious awareness. Your awareness of what's happening in your life, because that is what's truly creating your life. Ernest Holmes writes this: prayer is a mental approach to reality. Prayer is a mental approach to reality. It is not the symbol, but the idea symbolized that makes prayer effective. What he's saying is, it is not the stuff out there that proves that prayer is effective. It is when you shift your thinking, when you change your mind, that's when prayer is effective. And you know what's really great about that? all that stuff out there shifts, because that's the nature of a creative universal intelligence. It must shift. It cannot stay the same when you change your thinking around it. So we need to become aware. Let's all of us start to become aware of whether or not we are praying to eliminate circumstances, or we're praying to embody a new idea. Because it is the embodiment of a new idea that will shift your life. So no more begging, no more pleading, no more hoping for change. Change happens only in one place, and that is mind. And so the next step of that is to begin to determine what is effective for you in the changing of your own mind, in the changing of your own habitual thinking. Because we teach tools within this philosophy. We have a very specific way that we teach. And what I'm always telling my community is, you don't have to listen to what I say. I actually do tell them that. You don't have to listen to what I say. What I will encourage you to do is to get in touch with what you believe and how you believe the world works, because that's actually how your world is showing up. Your life is not unfolding willy-nilly. A lot of us have circumstances that show up in our lives that seem out of the blue, and the truth is, it's not. At the core of creation, everything is showing up because of some mental cause in you. And the great news about that, because a lot of people will then go to the place of, well, if it shows up and I don't like it, if I didn't want it, why did it show up? Stop blaming and start understanding that knowing that you are the cause to everything that shows up in your life gives you the power of understanding that you are the cause to everything that shifts what's happening in your life. And so if you want change, you are the cause to it. And nobody else can do that for you. I can't do that for you. A practitioner actually can't do that for you. Do you know the secret about practitioner work? We're never changing anything in your mind. Ever. We're never changing anything in your mind. We're changing our own minds. And to the degree that you agree, you're actually changing your own mind. That's all a practitioner session ever does, is to encourage you to a line of thinking that is in support of the greatest life you can live. There is a life force that is always, 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 always working. It never ceases. Ernest Holmes writes this: we are dealing with a force, I love this, we are dealing with a force we cannot fool. We cannot cheat principle out of the slightest shadow of our most subtle concept. Whatever is happening in your thinking, whatever is happening in your belief system, whatever is happening in your feeling system, it's showing up in your life in some capacity. So everyone take a breath. Allow yourself to perhaps bring to mind something that may not be working for you today. Allow yourself to see that thing, whatever it is, for what it really is, which is an idea in mind. Now see that thing gently drift away. It is no longer required in your experience. You don't need it. Let it go. Release it. Let it fly. And recognize and know that as God, you get to replace it with only the best. So allow the new idea to come to mind. allow the new idea to firmly take hold, to take root right here in this moment. Make the decision. Because that's really what it's all about. Making a decision. Let that decision be firmly rooted in that fertile soil of mind. Take a breath. If you've closed your eyes, you're welcome to open them now. It can be as simple as that. It can be as simple as that. Now, to what degree do doubts pop up? And that's the big question. To what degree do doubts pop up when you open your eyes? Because now the thing to address is the doubt. And then the next thing to address is the doubt. You are equal to everything you experience. Today I'm calling upon each and every one of us to understand and explore the nature of our lives as God more fully. You know, James talked last week or the week before about the Three Magic Words movie. Was that just last week? Just last week? I do watch your services, by the way. He just talked about those three magic words, I am God, and how freaked out, and it happens in my center too, people get freaked out when we make that claim. But it is a claim that is true. Because if God is all there is, there can be nothing else. And if I believe that I'm separate from that, then I think there's something else. I think I am something else. And so the more we embody that understanding, I am God, you are God, we are God, each and every one of us, life gets so much easier. It does. Did you see my shoulders? I've been like this the whole time, like, I am God. What a good feeling. So repeat after me. I am God. I am God. I am God. I am. I am. I am. I. As you make that statement, check in with what was happening in your mind. What part of you wants to water it down? What part of you is living in fear of what you might create if you truly embodied this understanding? Oh my gosh, there is so much power and there's so much love to be experienced. There's so much joy in that understanding, and yet I think we fear it sometimes. What part of you went to that place of fear in making the statement and saying it out loud in a community, in this very room, saying, I am God? What part of you is that ugly duckling choosing to hide away? That ugly duckling chose to hide, right? Until it came to a deeper understanding of who he was. And when he understood who he was, no matter what, the swan appeared. Because that's who we all are. We are each of us that swan. If the notion of claiming your divinity makes you uncomfortable, this week, get in touch with why. I want you all to come back here next week, and I want you to tell James Mellon that you get it. And that you need to have this Reverend Jonathan Zenz back again. No, the truth is we actually do have a plan to do this maybe a couple times a year. And actually, now that he's told me that he loves Toronto, I'm a little afraid he's going to try and go there and take over my center. But he'd probably only want to go in the summer. So this week, here's the caveat to that. So this week, get in touch with the notion of why can I not claim my divinity 100%? And what you are not allowed to do is base your answer on any assumption of what other people might think. Because I think ultimately that's what we're afraid of. I've had people in my center say, I can't claim that I'm God. I can't do that because what are other people going to think of me? And I say to them, who cares? That's their issue, not yours, except that you're making it your issue. Stand firm and resolved that you are God. Each and every one of us is God. Can I say it again? I am God. That's the truth. You want to say it again? Yes. I am God. If we are really, truly going to change lives, if we are truly stepping into that place of love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. And there it is. To love only and forgive everything, you must remember who you are. We must embody our wings. For our wings are those of a swan. We must inhabit the truth about prayer, which is all prayer is a praying as the divine, not to the divine. We stake our claim as God. We are not pleading to God. For it is truly done unto you as you believe. And that, to me, is rethinking the understanding of living on a wing in a prayer. Take your wings and fly. So really what I want to end with today is a reaffirmation. And I want everyone to truly, simply, easily, quietly relax where they are. And quietly say to yourself, I am God. And so it is. Namaste. Hi. Thank you.